He's the founder, president, CEO of an organization that I am a part of, the working board, not sitting board, but working board. The organization, the name of the organization is Real Caregivers. And it is an organization that the Lord put the mantle and the work on this woman's shoulders to abolish homelessness. I met her on Facebook, and when I saw some of the work that she was doing, in my mind I said, well, how in the world are we gonna get rid of homelessness? And it wasn't until I connected, until I met her and saw and heard the vision that God gave her, that I said, okay, Lord, yeah, God, you for real. You may not have given me that responsibility, but you gave it to her. Amen. And she's going to do that thing. And I'm going to help her. I'm going to help her. And so today, for a couple of moments, I want you all to meet and greet my sister, Christina Flowers. Greet her. So let me warn you. She's real like us. And she's probably a preacher too. So you know what happens when preachers get the mic, right?
Good morning, everyone. First, I'd like to introduce myself as a child of God first. I'm definitely the Mary Jane that was on your folder. You know, got that $10,000 and made a move from NCIA. There's a lot of history in this room since I came per invitation. You know, I have my childhood brother here today. When I see him this morning, he's looking at me and I'm looking at him like, where you going? You coming to church over there? He said, oh. So, you know, it was an honor to see Khalil this morning. You know, me and his sister and I grew up. I ain't gonna go into childhood stories because then his kids would be looking at me funny. Like, Daddy, you used to live in the same house with her? But yes, that's my brother from another mother. He was amazing. Yeah, amazing stories. But, you know, today I'd like to take the opportunity also to just thank you for being here. Thank you very much, Pastor Gaines, for allowing me to speak. And it's a great time of year for us as well, myself and other network providers that are here. Basically, it's our anniversary weekend, and I call it our anniversary weekend of No More I-83. March the 7th, 2013, it was a I-83 homeless encampment that resided right there on Falls Way, next to the jail house, getting on 1083. So a lot of people probably remember or rode past and seen the encampment of individuals that lived there. Well, you know, after I get in more to the story, not going to take long, but basically this encampment was there for 5 years. Somebody invited me to a meeting because I do assisted living and I do transitional group homes as well. But this day, God told me I was going to start housing homeless people. I didn't know how, I didn't know with what. You know, I went on this encampment because someone invited me there to see where they lived. And this was March the 6th of 2013. By that evening, I was in City Hall trying to figure out how did these people get over here, who left them, a long story from there. But we had like a day, and I say we, it was myself and my colleague Larry Wallace. That is Larry Wallace, the celebrity cab driver as well. We came together and, you know, we basically knew that the individuals had to be moved. So I'm like, God, you know, I'm saving. I got a couple of dollars in the bank. I got my little savings going. You sure you want me to do this? I was rustling with my savings because that's my mindset about saving. And I tell my kids, I got 2 teenagers. And I tell them, you know, I may be, everything I do is setting up for their future, you know, and I pray that they understand it a lot. But, you know, when it hit me this day and I seen these 12 people, I just started thinking, you know, I got to spend everything I have to get them where they need to be. So I leased 2 houses all in one day. and I moved all 12 individuals off the corridor. I stayed out there, and I started with that because since then it has been, when you say God talks about a lack of knowledge in Hosea 4, I was very unknowledgeable about what I was about to bark into when it comes to political and the arena and everything that was surrounding the situation. But 2 years later, because this is the anniversary weekend, yesterday we celebrated on the corridor. Actually, as a network that you are a part of, we went and we served over 300 individuals. We fed, we clothed, we did everything. We took 5 hours out of our day, and that's what it was meant to do, just to go back to this corridor and celebrate the fact that those 12 individuals are no longer there, and we've housed over 300 people since then. Wow. And one of the ways that we've housed, to get to our network, the tools that we use, that God has put on our hearts to use, God was like, when I was on that corridor, I was just thinking of so many people that I'm sure seeing these individuals and bought them food and, they were there 5 years and they were living. So every area of a house you could think when you walk on this corridor, from a bathroom to their clothes being hung up, to they had a grill when they cooked that, like they was smacked. They was living downtown Baltimore. And basically, when I seen that and I realized, I said, God, I got my business. I'm not a city-funded organization. I never messed with the political arena, never did nothing as far as just running my housing program, and always started that from everything that I did, from youth to adolescence to now what I'm doing now. So basically, it just took me a stumbling block of learning experiences through the past 2 years to where I've had to become knowledgeable, I had to become humble, I had to become very aware of what was going on in my surroundings, because again, this is a vulnerable population of people in our city. And unfortunately, those type of individuals, they have a tendency of being exploited. They have a tendency of being someone else's gain and wealth. And basically, as these years are going, I have to deal with each situation and each level of that. Well, the Real Care Provider Network was, we started off about 4 of us. I said, God, well, if I'm going to do this, you got to give me the individuals and put your like-minded people around me, because you're talking and going up against people with $200,000 salaries. Like, they don't want you coming and talking about stopping homelessness or messing with their money, or so basically it's been it's been a seed. When we was down there yesterday, one of the older men who probably have watched me over the years, he's a custodian. And he said, Ms. Flowers, he said, you know what, I see what you're doing. He said, but do you know it took us 50 years to get to do this? He went back and was explaining so much stuff, because he was just seeing how, I told him homelessness can end, and my dedication about this is not to just come down here and feed them, but to advocate against the things that are coming against them as well. So basically he was giving me a historical rundown, that it takes a long time, watch what you're doing. He was giving me some wisdom. He was giving me on the street wisdom, like we may need to get other places. But, and I basically told him, I said, sometimes we just got to see ourselves as the seed planter. And when I think about being a seed planter, I think about the amount of people that we've housed over the past 2 years. I think about the blessings that God has made open to us as far as property and relationships and meeting like-minded people. So the Real Care Providers now, it's about over 30 of us. Basically, it's a network of individuals who we dedicate and we commit our time to advocating, to learning, and to being a resource for homeless individuals. We started a 90-day initiative, which means we'll have a homeless person, and then within this 90 days, we're housing them, and we are advocating for them through any other agencies they're with, housing, Section 8, wherever they need to be advocated for with a positive voice. And I say that because I'm sure people have experienced a social service day or going in and encountering people that's disrespectful. It's hard for us to kind of engage with some of these agencies. So better yet for them to try to go in there and not in the right sense of mind or mental illness, and try to address people when it comes to their housing, or when it comes to just them being able to move forward on a Section 8 list that they've been on for 5 or 10 years. So some of it is just about, lack of locating them and being, so the advocacy part is pretty much what we're made up to do, to set up with one of them. Basically, it's like sponsoring a homeless person, because that's what we basically do as a network. We pretty much take them in this 90 days and we sponsor their living. We help them get on their feet. We help them tap into their resources. We help them get on any housing program, funded lists possible to work with. We work with veterans, seniors. We have some youths. So basically, that is what the whole network is made up, and I'm grateful, because meeting Pastor Gaines was definitely a highlight when he came to one of our network meetings. And, that's that secret policy you don't know about. Mom got on you. You know that, right? The one she got on you is the one, all children got one of them policies on them that we don't know about somewhere. So that was the good sideliner. But basically, it's like putting this network together, entrepreneurs, small businesses, promoters, myself as an organization. I am a 501c3 as well. We meet on the first and the third Saturdays. We have formed our board of directors that I am honored that Pastor Gaines has agreed to be a part of our ministry committee and community events and things, as well as working with a congregation as well. I know y'all have some outstanding talent in this room as well. I ain't even get to highlight all this to Brother Khalil, but I know some of his gifts and talents that he brings to the table. So that reassures so much of coming in here when I seen him, because he has that housing mentality and everything too. So I was definitely honored with that. But just to put on your guys' mind that it's 2,638 homeless people on the streets of Baltimore at nighttime. And these numbers, they can go up, they can go down. Baltimore City has received $48.3 million this year to house homeless individuals. But at the same time, we have an increasing number of housing individuals. So that's something that you have to wait a mind level on of what's happening to the funding when it comes to really housing these homeless individuals. So basically, they need a voice, they need people, they need God's people, especially to step up and understand that these are our brothers and sisters, and when I watch them suffer, it bothers me.